What's up, guys? Ryan here with Tampa Carry. So we all know the Second Amendment is under attack. Congress on a federal level has passed some pretty radical universal background check bills, mandatory firearm registration, and lots of you have been sending me messages saying, why doesn't the state of Florida present or submit some type of Second Amendment Preservation Act, some type of bill that would say, you know what, federal government, you guys can do whatever lunatic, crazy stuff you want to do, but you're not going to bring that crazy stuff into the state of Florida. Well, it turns out Representative Kaylee Tuck has recently introduced HB 1205, and it is called the Protection of Constitutional Firearm Rights. Now, as I've said before, it is absolutely ridiculous that we have to have a law that guarantees our constitutional rights. The Constitution already exists. It already makes it very clear what our rights are. But for some reason, lots of politicians, they believe that the Bill of Rights is just nothing more than toilet paper. Let's dive into exactly what this HB 1205 actually says and what it's going to do to kind of protect us. So it's an act related to the protection of constitutional firearm rights, declaring specified actions to be infringement of constitutionally protected rights concerning firearms. You know, one thing that I find really fascinating reading through this, it says that the federal government is granted its powers under the Constitution. And any of the powers that have not been delegated to the federal government under the Constitution, those rights then go to the state. The state has the ability to regulate those areas. Then it goes on to say, whenever the federal government assumes powers that the people did not grant it in the United States Constitution, its acts are unauthoritative, void, and of no force. You know, I find that to be fascinating. I find it to be really cool. It goes on to say these constitutional provisions merely identify the means by which the federal government may execute its limited powers, which is hilarious. Because if you look at Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, all of this crazy stuff, they don't believe their powers are limited. They believe they can do whatever they want in America, and we have to submit to their will. So limited powers and shall not be construed to grant unlimited power, because to do so would be to destroy the carefully constructed equilibrium between the federal and the state governments. Consequently, the legislator rejects any claim that the taxing and spending powers of Congress can be used to diminish in any way the right of the people to keep and bear arms. Okay, so now let's jump into the list of what they are calling the infringement on our firearm rights. So the following federal acts, laws, executive orders, administrative orders, court orders, rules, and regulations shall be considered infringements on the people's rights to keep and bear arms, as granted by the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution. Any tax, levy, fee, or stamp imposed on firearms, firearm accessories, or ammunition, not common to all other goods and services. Any registering or tracking of firearms, firearm accessories, or ammunition which might be reasonably expected to create a chilling effect on the purchase or ownership of those items by law-abiding citizens. Any registering or tracking of the owners of firearms, firearm accessories, or ammunition which might reasonably be expected to create a chilling effect on the purpose of ownership by law-abiding citizens. Any act forbidding the possession, ownership, or use or transfer of any firearm, firearm accessory, or ammunition by a law-abiding citizen. Any act ordering the confiscation of firearms, firearm accessories, ammunition from a law-abiding citizen. I absolutely love this bill that has been presented by this representative. I think she is amazing, and we need to do whatever we've got to do. In fact, I am going to call her office as soon as I'm done with this video, and I'm going to try to set up an interview with her. If any of you know her, maybe shoot her a tweet, send her an email, tell her to get onto my show so that we can chat about this and figure out exactly what we need to do to get this law passed in the state of Florida. So it goes on to say that no person, including any public servant, shall have the authority to enforce or attempt to enforce any federal act, law, executive order, administrative order, court order, rule, regulation, statute, or ordinance infringing on the right to keep and bear arms ensured by the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution. I think this is exactly what the state of Florida needs. We need to have something that is going to tell the lunatic gun grabbers on the federal level, frankly, even the ones on the state level, that Florida is not having this crap. We have a God-given right to own and possess guns, and it is not up to the federal government or any of these Florida legislators to tell us what, how, or when we are allowed to have a firearm in this state. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you are going to do to spread the word about this amazing bill and make sure that it gets passed.